Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Candy Shop. Today we're going to talk about the Real Housewives of OC. So as you come into the room, don't forget to like, rate, review, subscribe to the channel, and share this with a friend because a kiki is always better with some community. Drop those candy canes in the chat box. Drop your comments and questions in the comment box below before we get into it. But let me know what you guys want me to start on. I think I'll just do a overview of each of the ladies and catch up to where we are now in this season. Okay? But I also want to let you guys know that we are doing a 7-day Level Up Your Life challenge. It is linked below in the description box. We kick off on March 1st, but when you join us, you get VIP access to our Lux Life group that's all about self-care, self-love, and manifestation. And then you get lifetime access to that. So just be sure to check it out in the description box below. If you're into that stuff, it is a great community, a great resource for everyone. So just wanted to share that. Let me put my little banner on because we're going to get into it and just keep it all alleged, keep it all cute, keep it fun, and see what's up. Hey, Natalia, she says hi. Hey, sweetheart. She says hi, Candy. Happy Valentine's Day, sweetheart. Happy Valentine's Day to all of you. Happy Valentine's Day to my beautiful, beautiful candy canes. I appreciate you guys. You hold me down. So let's get into it. Let's dive into today's topic, all right? Let's get into it. The Real Housewives of Orange County. Where to begin? Because there's a lot of unpacking that needs to be done. So let's start with Gina and Emily. And as people come into the room, we can get to Heather and Noella and all that fun stuff. Tweedledee and Tweedledum is kind of how I look at Gina and Emily. The prior seasons they were on the show, they were just kind of annoying. But this season, and this might be an unpopular opinion, I don't know. Let me know. Put it in the comment box if you're watching the replay. Put it in the chat box if you're with me live. What are your thoughts on Gina and Emily? Because I actively dislike them. Actively. Mostly Gina, and Emily a strong second. And I'm going to tell you why. I think what they did to Shannon was so messed up. They totally played her. They threw her under the bus. They were kissing Heather Dubrow's butt. They were doing all of this stuff, and it just was so obvious and just so slimy to me. Like, it was so clear that Gina and Emily befriended Shannon because Tamara and Vicky got the boot, basically. So they were like, all right, well, then this actually leaves Shannon being the most OG on the show. Let's buddy up to her. Let's pretend to be her friend. Let's get in cahoots with her so we still have a place on the show. So we still have a group on the show. But then the moment they were like, Heather Dubrow's coming back, Gina and Emily were like, we don't know her. Shannon told Gina and Emily the secret about that Nicole girl, which, by the by, what happened to her? We'll get into that a little bit later. That the Nicole girl had sued, and again, this is all alleged in my opinion, but we all seen it, but, you know, just to cover the bases, alleged opinion, had sued Terry Dubrow, clearly in confidence. They had been out drinking. They were having fun. The cameras were not there. They were not mic'd. And I think this is actually a really big distinction between, do you remember a couple seasons ago when Tamara Judge spilled the beans about the alleged rumor that Kelly Dodd had ran a TRAIN with some people? That whole alleged rumor? The difference between that and what Shannon did is that Shannon told the girls actually offline. Like, there was audio footage of what Tamara said. There was no video footage and no audio footage of what Shannon said. The only reason why it made it to the show was because of Gina and Emily. And they said it themselves. They're like, oh, we didn't believe Shannon. We thought she was lying. So you wanted to come to you, Heather. Mind you, this was the first time they were ever meeting Heather. Why are you coveting this woman as if she's like the second coming of Christ. Like, and don't get me wrong, I love Heather Dubrow. I love Fancy Pants. I love her house. It's amazing. Adopt me. I will move right on in. I think she's great. I love her children. I love her and Terry. I think they're fabulous. However, the level of butt kissing that Gina and Emily and Jen do is mind-boggling. I actually think that drives Noella more crazy than what's happening with her dramatic divorce, if you know what I'm saying. Like, there's one thing to be in awe of someone, and there's another thing to literally, like, lick their butt. And I feel like, I don't want to be gross, sorry guys, but I feel like, in my opinion, that's what they're doing. And they did it, and like, again, you can do that, whatever. But I think the problem was they did it to the detriment of Shannon. I don't think Shannon wanted that rumor out. I don't think Shannon expected it to come out. I think Shannon felt betrayed and backstabbed and all of that. And when it comes to that, I don't think Noella is wrong. How she's like, you got to watch out for Heather. You know, Heather's kind of fake, whatever. Because whatever happened to Nicole, right? Like, Terry and Heather came down acting like everything was roses and kisses. But Nicole has been gone, essentially wiped from the show. At whose behest? It must be Heather's. I don't think she wants Nicole on the show spilling any more of the beans of what really happened with that lawsuit, because Nicole has just been iced out. It's crazy. Okay, let's see what you guys are saying. So Natalia is laughing. Hey, sweetheart. Emily's okay. Gina is all right. Okay. And then Pink Dynamite says, right. Yeah. It's insane to me. It's crazy. And then else what happened? Let me see. So what do you guys think about Shannon? Like, I actually really like Shannon. I like her trajectory. I feel like she's on the right path. I hope things work out with her, like, lemon juice thing that she's doing, her like water tinctures, which is good. I felt really bad for her because I felt like Gina and Emily really threw her under the bus. And then she sort of had to, by default, kiss Heather's butt, if that makes sense. Like, it put her in the position where she had to sort of like, please, Heather, take my apology. Please, Heather, forgive me. Please, Heather, be my friend. But I still think that Shannon actually still kind of held her own in all of that. And I will say this. I would actually love to see, and this is my prediction, and I hope it comes true, I would actually love to see Shannon and Heather be a power duo. I know it seems like it's at odds, but I actually really love Heather and I really love Shannon. And I think that they would put these like youngins to shame. They would make Emily and Gina have several seats and they would just put them all to shame. And I think if they actually got together, they would be a hilarious, super entertaining duo. I would love to see that. I think they would rival Vicky and Tamara. So I would absolutely love to see Shannon and Heather actually join forces. I would love to see that. And I think it's going to happen. That's my OC prediction. When it comes to Dr. Jen, okay. Dr. Jen. Oh, wait, hold on. Hey, Young Rich, I'm sorry, but I started hollering when Heather read that card. And Noella's reaction. Okay, you know what? Let's get into it. We'll get to Dr. Jen in a second. Let's get into the card and the pornography and Heather and Noella. Okay, let's get into it. My thoughts on this. Heather Dubrow is so strategic. She does nothing by chance. She does nothing by accident. I think she strategically did not say anything to Noella about the inappropriate cards because she wanted to go around to the group and sow the seeds and badmouth Noella and put her in this bad light. I don't think that Noella was actually trying to give her child a gift of the P word. I don't want to say it on my channel, of the P word. And I don't think Heather thought that either. I think it was very clear that Noella just bought a bunch of stuff and put it in a bag and was like, happy birthday. I think that Heather took advantage of the situation, right? I think Heather took advantage of the opportunity, because if you actually thought this woman gave your child the P word in these inappropriate cards, the first person you call is that woman, not everybody else. The first person you check when it comes to your children is the person that you think is being inappropriate with them. That's why I know Heather knew that Noella did not mean to be inappropriate with her children. And that's how I know Heather went around saying that, because she wanted to get Noella back. She wanted to get Noella back for calling her a fake B. She wanted to get Noella back for what else did she do to her? For just, not bowing down to her, not kissing the ring, right? Because, I love Heather Dubrow. I'm not going to fake the funk. I love her. I think she's great for TV. I love Fancy Pants. She's cool. Call me. Let's hang out. Love you, Heather. But I do think she's the type of person where you need to kiss the ring. You need to bow down and kiss the ring. Don't you know who I am? And I think the fact that Noella wasn't doing that, I think the fact that Nicole was a bit of a rat and ran back to Heather being like, oh, Noella called you a fake B, when Noella clearly was out of her mind, was drunk, and was just talking and was just, oh, blah, 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 blah. Like, it wasn't like Noella came to Nicole and was like, let me talk to you about Heather Dubrow and let me call her this name. No, Nicole was just trying to, again, kiss Heather's butt, because it was exposed that back in the day she had sued Terry. So she was trying to get back in Heather's good graces by saying, well, she said this about you. She said this about you. I'm not the bad one. They're the bad one, right? Because Heather is very calculated. And Heather doesn't play, especially when it comes to her children. And I love mothers like that. So that is why in my opinion, I really don't think Heather thought Noella was trying to be inappropriate with her children, because it was so obvious and clear. It was a mistake. She picked up a deck of cards that looked cool, plopped them in the bag, gave them to the kids, didn't think anything of it. Because if you really think someone is being inappropriate, particularly sexually inappropriate with your children, you check that person first. And then you tell everybody else. But you check that person first. And the fact that Heather never checked Noella. She checks everybody on everything all of the time. But the fact that Heather never checked Noella to her face, it actually only happened accidentally at that dinner when it all spilled out. She had told Emily, Gina knew, Dr. Jen knew, Shannon knew. So everybody knows how inappropriate that Noella's being with your children, except for Noella. Make it make sense, Heather. I love you, girl, but the work is showing. You wanted to get back at Noella for calling you a fake B, and you wanted to get back at Noella because she was not kissing the ring. And that is why you are so close to Gina, because Gina, her pick-me energy around you is sickening. It is like, it repels me when I see Gina around Heather. She's like, Heather. It's insane. It's a lot. Like, Gina, relax, girl. Like, take a step back, take a deep breath, act like you've been here before, calm the F down. It's insane. So let's see what you guys are saying in the chat box. Hey, Natalie. She goes, Gina and Emily kiss Heather exactly because they see Heather in them and they wish they had the dominance and financial status. They look at her as a rich mom. Yes, Natalie. Yes, I agree with you 100%. 100%. I think that Gina and Emily want to emulate Heather. They want to be her. They want to be like her. They want to have her cars. They want to be fancy pants. They want the super rich husband. They want the house and all of that. And I mean, quiet as it kept, I'm not mad at it. Like, to me, chef kiss, Heather. Chef's kiss. You see her life, it's fantastic. However, there is a level of self-respect and dignity and just being normal that has to happen that we don't see with Gina and Emily. Like, they're kind of doing the absolute most when it comes to kissing Heather's butt, and they didn't have to throw Shannon under the bus and all of that stuff in order to get in Heather's good graces. So I really want Heather and Shannon to come together as a power duo and really put Gina and Emily in their place. I like Emily more than I like Gina. I feel like Gina's demise is coming. because she's giving me Whitney Rose from Salt Lake City. She's giving me a little bit of Rinna from Beverly Hills. So that's what you guys are saying. Hey, Pink Dynamite, Heather is running the show. Yes, Heather is running the girls. Okay? Heather is running the girls. She is running the show, and I'm here for it. I love Heather. But just the energy of the desperation of the other women, that's what the turnoff is, right? Like, I love Heather running the girls because she can, like an LVP. But it's the energy of the other girls that I don't like. Okay, let's see what you guys are saying. Hey, Rich, do you think she overreacted by calling it the P word? 1,000%. This is the thing. I don't think Heather overreacted because, again, I don't think Heather does anything happenstance. I think she is so strategic. I think Heather saw it as an opportunity to throw Noella under the bus, to be like, see, she's unstable. See, look what she did to me. How dare she call me these things? See? So I don't think she overreacted. I think it was very calculated. I think she knew exactly what she was doing because she's very, very calculated. Natalia says, love Heather too. Me too. Heather Dubrow, call me, girl. Like, we can hang out. Natalie, I heard Noella is dating one of the OC producers. Ooh, that is some OCT right there. Let me do some digging if that's the case. Because is that allowed? Because, like, remember when Candy from Atlanta started dating Todd? Didn't Todd have to quit his job? Because I don't know if producers are supposed to date talent. So if that's true, that might be a conflict of interest. Hey, Young Rich, how long have Gina and Emily been on the show? They've been on the show for a couple of years now. I want to say 2 to 4. Definitely this season, last season, and I want to say the season before that. So maybe like 3 or 4 years they've been on the show, because they were on the show with Vicky. They were on the show with Tamara. They were on the show with Kelly Dodd. So they've been on there for a little bit now. Hey, Young Rich, Natalie, she better pull that Portia bag. Get that good edit. Exactly. Yes, Pink Dynamite says, I love Emily. Yeah, Emily, I like Emily more than Gina. It's really the two of them together that I don't like. Young Rich says, I want everybody back for next season and add Tamara and Vicky. I miss Vicky. I actually really like Vicky. Not Tamar Baxton. I meant Tamara. Yes. Hey, Natalia. She goes, they should 2 or more seasons with the old cast and revamp the show. Yeah, I wouldn't mind them revamping the show. I really wouldn't. Young Rich says, Portia dated a producer in season 10. He said he tried to make her look good after that Candy rumor. I believe it. Miss Portia. I'm going to be doing a live where I break down everything I think about Portia. I am. But that's going to be subscribers only. So you guys have to subscribe and like this video and all that fun stuff to be able to chat. It's going to be subscribers only for that one. But it'll be good. Okay, so let's get into Jen, Dr. Jen. So many thoughts on Dr. Jen. All right. So when it comes to Dr. Jen, I think she's boring, but I do like her. And I think that there's a lot of stuff going on with Dr. Jen. The first is, I think it's so obvious that she has not healed or mourned or grieved the loss of her father. And I think that is what is showing up in her marriage. Because she even, during, I think, the last episode when she was talking to her husband, she was like, well, I want you to be like my father. I want you to be like my dad. I want you to, like, support me and tell me I did a good job and all this stuff and, like, validate me. I think that, and my heart goes out to her. And I say this from a place of compassion, not a place of making fun of or judging at all. I say this from a complete place of compassion. When she talked about how her father had passed away unexpectedly, she had been really close to him. I think he was out for a run. He either got hit by something or hit by a car or something like that. Anyway, I think anytime you lose someone, it's painful, but particularly when you lose someone unexpectedly, like that shock of it. I don't think she's properly dealt with the loss of her father. And I think she's doing a lot of projection of that into her marriage, because she's like, I want to feel protected. I want you to tell me all this, which is, yes, we want our spouse to in our relationship for us to feel secure and validated and protected. But that's one dynamic to have with your spouse. It's another one to want your spouse to be your surrogate father that you lost. You know what I mean? So I think that has probably been some of the stuff going on between her and her husband that she hasn't properly healed from the loss of her father. And then she also talked about how her and her mother had a very distant relationship. So that was probably even more trauma, even more, to grieve and mourn. You're not particularly close to your mother, and then your father dies unexpectedly, and you and your father are really close. So now, of course, since you haven't healed that, you are now seeking that outside and projecting it. I will also say, I don't like her husband. And this is just my opinion, allegedly. There's something off about him. Like he's hiding something off is what I mean. Like I feel like her husband has some type of double life, second life, alternate life, new life. I don't trust her husband. I think he is leading a double life. And I'm going to leave it there. I also think another big thing in their marriage happens a lot. I think it happens probably even more so. And again, like I'm pretty liberal, I'm pretty open, but there are certain like traditions. Obviously, everybody's life is different. So I'm only commenting on their particular life since they put it on the show. But I do think sometimes when the woman kind of steps into her masculine energy and she's the one who's the breadwinner, she's the one who's going to work every day, she's the one who is holding down the household financially, and the husband has to step more into the feminine. And I don't mean like being a woman, but in that role of being the caretaker, being the nurturer, bringing up the children, being stay at home, taking care of the household. I think that dynamic, unless these two people are really in sync, unless they really are on the same page, unless they really have a rhythm, I think that dynamic is a very, very quick recipe for disaster. Because even that recipe, it's really hard even with the more traditional roles when the man is the breadwinner and he goes out and all that stuff. And I'm just talking about traditional roles. I'm not making a commentary on anybody's lifestyle, but just those more traditional roles where the man is the breadwinner, and the woman stays at home and makes the household and brings up the children. Even that dynamic can get sticky when each partner is not appreciating the value that the other person brings to the household. Whether it's the wife saying, "You're always gone, you're never here, you're never present," and then he's like, "Well, I'm out, making a life for us. I'm working so you can have this lifestyle." Or it's the father being like, all you do all day is shop and, go to brunch with the girls and blah, 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 blah. And she's like, I make a beautiful home for you. I take care of the children. That's like the biggest job in the world. You come home and I'm making a life for us. Appreciate that. I think anytime you have both people or one person not appreciating and acknowledging the value, whether it is monetary or whether it is creating the household that they bring to the family, you get what we see with Dr. Jen and her husband. Is his name Ryan or Ren? He changed his name. Again, I don't trust him. I think something is going to come out. And again, this is just my prediction. I think something is going to come out about him. I don't trust him. I think he's living a double life. I think he thought he signed up to be a kept man. She was going to go out to her practice. She'd pop out some kids. It would be easy. But I think what happens with a lot of that sort of suburban fantasy, you realize that this is actually work. It's a lot of work being a parent. It's a lot of work putting together the house. It's a lot of work to do all of this stuff, right? So I think that he probably thought he was kind of signing up to be this sort of kept man. He could do what he wanted to do, still have this. Again, this is just my prediction. This is just the vibe I get. He thought he could have his sort of double life and everything would be fanciful and free. But when you actually have to wake up to the reality of what it means to be stay-at-home parent, that is a big deal. actually with the kids. That's a big deal. Going, like he was talking about, going to PTA, going to the first day of school, doing all the activities, like that's a big deal to do. So I think he's not happy. And I think she's not happy because I think that she's so in her masculine energy. And masculine, I don't mean like male. I just mean the masculine divine energy where she has to go out and provide and work and do all this stuff, that when she gets home, I think it's really hard for her to get out of it. And what she needs from her husband is for then him to step into it so she can be the receiver and be taken care of and all that stuff. So I think there's a lot going on with Dr. Jen. It's a lot. Overall, I think she's kind of flat. Overall, I think she's kind of boring. But I do think that there are a lot of, like, I want to do a case study on her life, and like there's a lot of stuff going on, and there's a lot of projection going on with her, and I would be interested to see what comes out with her life and all that stuff. Okay, let's see what you guys are saying in the chat box. If I missed your question, I apologize. If I missed your comment, I apologize. Put it back in the chat box so I can get to it. Young Rich says, I want everybody back. Oh, and add 10 more. Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Young Rich says, did Dr. Jen really a scammer? What's the tea about? Oh. I don't think Dr. Jen is a scammer herself. I think her husband is leading a double life. And Young Rich, she made a comment, and yes, I agree. I'm not going to put it up because I don't know about people, but yes. Yeah. I just think that her husband is leading a double life. I don't think he is who he says he is. I think that there is a big elephant in the room. Let's just put it there. Okay, let's get to Noella. I am living for Noella. She says she's biracial, which makes me feel a little bit better because there were some photos surfacing around Instagram and YouTube where she had before looked very like much more fair skinned. She had blonde hair, and now she does really present, sort of like biracial or whatever. So if she really is biracial, that makes me feel like just a little bit more comfortable. Of course, everyone's allowed to look how they want to look, wear their hair how they want to wear it, tan or whatever. But it's just a little bit more comfortable if she really is biracial, if that makes sense. Okay, let's see. Hey, Young Rich, they said something about her practice and some fun somewhere. Ooh, I'm going to look into that. We can do the tea. I will look into that. But she wouldn't. This is the thing. This is the thing. The Housewives, Bravo TV situation. This is the thing. She wouldn't be the first to go on a show having a sketchy business. Like, I don't get it. Like, if I were a scammer and I had fraudulent dealings, the last place I would go would be on reality TV. Because then all your business is hanging out there. I'm not a scammer, and I still wouldn't do reality TV because I'm scared. What's gonna, you know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. But I'll look into it. I'll see what the tea is there. But that's crazy. But speaking of scammers, Noella's husband, what did we think about Sweet Baby James? Did you guys see was it his Instagram live like a couple weeks ago where he was like, I just want to come on here and just set the record straight. When my baby was born, I stayed up with him. We were just so connected. I'm a great dad, blah, blah. And I didn't believe a word he was saying. I believe Noella. I think that he sold her a bill of goods. Again, alleged, my opinion. I think he sold her a bill of goods. I think her mental state now, as we sing on the show, is a woman coming undone, realizing that she built her life on a house of cards. I think Noella thought she had gotten the bag with baby James for her and her mom, because I believe he was taking care of her and her mother. So I think she thought she got the bag with baby James and he was going to take care of her and her mom. They had the wedding, they had the baby, and then it turned out that he was not who he said he was. So I think she literally got the rug thrown from under her. He was talking about how, again, allegedly, he was saying how she brought him into this weird lifestyle of you know what I mean, weird lifestyle, doing this, that, and the third. I don't believe that. I think he was already in the lifestyle and they attracted each other because they both were in the lifestyle. You see what I'm saying? They both were in it. They both were doing this and doing that, doing this, doing that. You see what I'm saying? Like, I think that they both were in a lifestyle and that's why they attracted each other. But now he's trying to throw her under the bus. I don't understand the whole he's living in Puerto Rico or wherever the heck he was living, and he was serving her from different states and cities and boroughs and countries and all of that stuff. I mean, it was very convoluted. It was a lot. But I do believe her. I think there's a lot of drama there. I think there's a lot of stuff there, but I don't think that she was lying the way Dr. Jen and Heather and all them were trying to make it seem. I think maybe there might be some embellishments here and there, maybe not 1,000% the truth, but I don't think anybody ever says 1,000% of the truth. But I do believe her. I think she thought she got the bag, and then she quickly realized she got duped, and she was losing her damn mind. I mean, who else would get on? And she said this, but I'll say alleged, my opinion. She got on and she was saying how she only had one credit card attached to Amazon Prime, and that's how she was getting groceries and diapers and food, and that she felt like she was scared she was going to get evicted because she wasn't able to pay I guess they were leasing or renting their home, and she wasn't able to make those payments. And so she was scared that any day she would be kicked out. And that is a very scary thing. Let's depart for a second. That is a very, very scary thing when you are so financially dependent on someone else, where if their mood changes, if their choice changes, if the wind blows, you don't know if you're going to be homeless, and you are using a credit card that they just forgot to cancel so you can get food. That is very, very scary. So for everyone out there, I don't care if you're a man, I don't care if you're a woman, I don't care if you're working, I don't care if you're not working, I don't care if you're kept, I don't care if you're not kept. Everybody out here, always have your own. Have some type of savings account, offshore account, something that is only you. No one else can touch it, not some joint stuff. No, that is just yours. And you save that for Mad Day. Don't ever, I don't even care if you're a stay-at-home mom or a stay-at-home dad, don't ever be fully financially dependent upon anyone. Always make sure that if somebody decides to wake up and cut you off, you're not going to be homeless. You're not going to be wondering where you can get food and diapers for your family. You're going to have that supply. You're going to have that nest egg. You're going to have means to get back on your feet. That's a cautionary tale for everyone, because I think sometimes people think, oh, I got the bag, and then they get the rug pulled from under them. So I don't care who you are. Always have your own. Always have something that nobody else can touch. I don't care how in love you think you are. I don't care how much Boo Boo loves you. I don't care how rich Boo Boo is. Have your own. Because you just never know with people. You just never know. And you don't want to end up out here being like, I'm getting all my food from Amazon Prime because he forgot to cancel his card. Just putting that out there. Okay, let's see what you guys are saying. Young Rich says, sorry, but Noella was way too pretty to be putting up with someone like him. I know. Young Rich, was it a real marriage? I think it was. I think it was real because Emily, this is why I think it was real. Emily A is a lawyer. And we know Emily likes to do her research and get receipts. And I think Emily did go into the records to see if there was a real marriage license and to see if there really was a real divorce filing. And Emily, on one of her confessions, co-signed it and said, no, like, she really was served these papers. Because remember, even in the other season, Shannon and Emily, remember, what was that woman's name? The one who was like pretending to be the richest lady in OC, and she had like her alleged billionaire ex-husband, but she wasn't getting any money. I forgot. Garvis, whatever her name was. They went and they pulled her documentations. They pulled her information on her houses and her stuff, being like, well, what about this lien? What about that? So I think the fact that Emily co-signed it after researching everything means that they really were married. I do think it was a quick marriage. and then she got the baby real quick and all of that stuff. And I think that he pulled a wool over her head. I think he was like, oh, baby, I have this, I have that. I'll take care of you. I'll take care of your mom. We'll do this, that, and the third. But a wolf in sheep's clothing can only be hidden for so long. And then I think the real him came out. And I think he was like, you know what? I actually didn't sign up for this. I don't really want to be a dad. I don't really want to be a husband. Let me go and just do me, Peter Pan syndrome. So I do feel bad for Noella, and I hope she is able to, snap back and come all of that. Hey, Natalia, she goes, thank you, Candy. I agree. Don't be fully dependent on anyone. No, you can't. You can't. This is the thing. If you are an adult, even before you're an adult, if you can, because we don't know, never depend on anyone fully depend, right? It's okay. If you have a healthy relationship and your spouse works and you hold down the house or vice versa, whatever, that's fine. If it's a healthy dynamic, yes, you want to be interdependent and it's okay to support each other. However, even in those cases, always still have your own. Look at what happened to Shannon Bedore. I thought Shannon came from family money. Maybe it ran out. I don't know. But look what happened to her. She had supported David while David was building up his business, his practice, all of that. They were married for 17 years. Now he cheats. They divorce. And I think she's actually, allegedly, I think she is suing her divorce attorneys because she got screwed. She got some lump sum, but now she was saying how she has to pay for her children's college. When David, allegedly, I'm not counting anybody's pockets, but allegedly David is still a multimillionaire making all of this money. So why is Shannon paying for her children's college and university cost when David is still making the most money? Why isn't he stepping up as their father, not as Shannon's ex, but as their father to pay for their education? Because Shannon got screwed in that divorce. At the end of the day, she got screwed. To be with a man for 17 years of actual marriage, not to put the plus in there, to have 3 of his children, to have been there to build up his practice when he didn't have anything, probably using her family money, probably using her family connections, and then for him to cheat and leave you, and then when he divorces you, you get screwed out of the divorce element, and then for him to still be so mad, he takes it out on the kids. You got to protect yourself. You have to have contracts, prenups, side savings, all of that stuff. Like, look at these people. Like, I know the Real Housewives are a good key. I know it's fun, but you can learn stuff from watching other people how not to move in life. She's married to this man for 17 years. And I would be so hurt if I were her children that my father, who I know has the money, who I know has the means, if this is what, because Shannon said this, so I'm just going to say alleged. I don't want David Bedore coming after me, David. Don't come after me, David. Shannon Bedore said this, so allegedly, he's not paying for his children's college. That blows my mind. Just because you divorce Shannon does not mean you're not still beholden to your children. And allegedly, he has the money. Unlike some of these people on the reality shows, I think David Bedore actually has the money. But he's off with his new wife and his new baby. He's off starting a whole new family. Which is fine. Do you. Everyone find your happiness. But don't forget about your other children. That's why you got to be really, 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 really careful. You just have to be careful who you marry. You have to be careful who you have children with, and always have a stash. We've seen it happen time and time and time again in real life and on these shows. You just got to do it. Let's see. Hey, Pinky in the Brain. Pinky in the Brain says, yep. Hey, Young Rich, I'm sorry, but it's stupidity not to have your own income and depending on someone else. If you're grown, this is not the 50s, and even some of them had their own tucked in ballerina shoebox. Yes, Yes, I agree with you, Young Rich, 1,000%. Hey, Pinky in the Brain does yes. I agree. It is. It's insane, and that's why you can't want or think that someone else is going to save you. They're not. You always have to save yourself. No one's going to save you. These fairy tales, these illusions, all of that stuff, no, you have to save yourself. Look at all this stuff time and time again. You have to do it. Let's see what else. Oh, I loved how to me, this was one of the more genuine moments. In the last episode, when it was Shannon and John, Heather and Terry, and Emily and Shane. Shane has grown up. I've always liked Shane. I always thought Shane was a little misunderstood. I think Shane's a little socially awkward and he's very sarcastic, but just kind of like the way he is, it comes across as being a jerk, where I think it's actually just his sense of humor, if that makes sense. I still think they kind of look like a mismatched couple, but that's okay, like whatever. But the moment I loved was when John and Terry and Emily were opening up about their dads and growing up. You know, how all of them sort of had dads who abandoned them and who weren't there for them. And that kind of really was the catalyst for the three of them to really have a drive to prove themselves, to prove their worth, to be successful, to get approval and all of that stuff. And I loved how Emily said, you know, my whole life I've been trying to get my dad's approval, my mom's approval, but now I need to learn that I need to get that approval from myself. And I think that happens a lot, particularly with children who grow up with an absentee parent. They feel, even if they have, you know, money, success, law degrees, medical practices, at the end of the day, what's happening inside, what's happening internally is a feeling that they're not good enough, that they're not worthy, that they're less than, that they were left behind. You know, what that does to a child when one of the parents abandons them. So again, we can see people having all of this like money and success and these degrees, but inside it's really that broken little girl, that broken little boy trying to get someone to love them and pay attention to them and to tell them that they're good enough and worthy. So I thought that was, to me, that was one of the most tender moments, because I think all of them were like, yeah, we've had dads who basically abandoned us, who disowned us, who weren't really there for us. And that led us to be successful. But then we had to learn that we need to get that love, that validation, that worthiness from ourselves, because just because a parent wasn't able to be there for their child does not mean that that child is worthless. It does not mean that that child isn't lovable. It doesn't mean that that child isn't good enough. It just means that child got dealt a really bad deal. And it was the parent's job to show up. But people are imperfect. But as children, we think it's our fault, and we think, well, what was wrong with me that daddy didn't stay? What was wrong with me that mommy left? And then they chase their entire lives finding someone to choose them, finding some career to validate them, finding some number in the bank to make them say, oh, now I'm worthy. Look at Dr. Jen. She's very successful. We're going to look into those fraudulent frauds, though. Thanks for the heads up, Young Rich. She's very successful, but she's still looking for her daddy. So I think it's a good, you know, thing on there. Hey, Pinky in the Brain, I won my case and I want what is mine. Yes, exactly. Yes, good job, Pinky in the Brain. Yes, I won my case and I want what is mine. Damn straight. Damn straight. Okay, you guys. I think I touched on everyone. We talked about Jen. We talked about Heather, Noella, Gina, Shannon. Do you guys have any other questions or topics you want me to cover on this one? Let me know. Oh, you guys, if you are at all into self-care, self-love, manifestation, listen up. We are doing a 7-day Level Up Your Life challenge. It's linked below in the show box or in the description. box. Click on the link. You will get so many free goodies. We are kicking off. So just in case you're into that stuff, be sure to join us. We're doing big things. We have our first weekly call tonight, which is super exciting, and you get so many free goodies. So just in case you're into that. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to share with a friend. And yeah, if you're watching this on the replay, comment below. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts about Shannon? What are your thoughts about Noella versus Heather? What are your thoughts on Gina and Emily? Like, do you think that Dr. Jen's husband is leading a double life? Because I do. Do you think that Heather was diabolical and manipulative and knew exactly what she was doing by going to all the women, being like, oh, Noella did these inappropriate cards to my child, knowing full well she didn't intend to do it? Because again, I said it earlier, but it bears repeating. Heather Dubrow, if you actually thought anyone on this planet intentionally was being sexually inappropriate through these cards and gifts to your children, you would have checked that person directly and first. But the fact that you didn't, your slip is showing. Anybody who thinks someone is being inappropriate with their child checks that person directly. You don't go around to Gina, Emily, Shannon, Jen. Oh, she gave my daughter an inappropriate gift. She gave my daughter an inappropriate gift. You knew she didn't mean to. You just wanted to plant the seeds to everybody. Hey, Miss T. Let's see what you guys are saying. Young Riches wins the next live tomorrow. You guys have spoken and I'm answering. We're going to go live tomorrow with the Real Housewives of New Jersey. I'm going to try and go live every day this week and keep it up and keep it going because you guys have spoken. You like the reality TV recaps. You like, what else do you guys like? You like when I go live. So you guys have spoken. We're still doing our self-care and self-love and manifestation content. Check everything in the description box to get some of those freebies and to join us in the challenge and the Lux VIP group. But we'll be going live every day. We're doing this. Except for the weekends. You know I take the weekends off. You know I'm not here Saturday and Sunday. But Monday through Friday I'll be here. But tomorrow we can do Jersey. And then I also want to do another ladies who list, and just let me know what you guys want me to cover. But we'll be going live tomorrow. That's why you have to subscribe and hit the notification bell, so when we do go live you'll be notified, so you can join the Kiki. You can join the Candy Cane communities and join the Kiki. Yes. Hey, Pinky, the branch is looking beautiful, queen. Thank you. Great commentary. Thank you. You know what? I've missed it. I've missed you guys. I've been working so hard on the self-care stuff. Like I had to do the whole curriculum for the challenge. I wrote a book. It's called The Journey to Self-Love Journal. It's linked in the show notes if you guys want to check it out. You actually get it for free when you join the challenge. But I wrote a book during that time. It's available on Amazon and it's coming to Barnes and Nobles. So, and that's my 5th book that I've written. So I had to launch that. So I've been working behind the scenes on other projects and doing stuff, but I've missed you guys and I am here for a good Kiki. So check out everything in the description box to see what's going on. Hey, Miss T, what's up? She says, hello, Candy and all the canes. Hello, sweetheart. Yes, yes, yes. Hey, Natalia. She goes, are you going to review Celebrity Big Brother? You know, I never got into Celebrity Big Brother, but with all of the mess with Cynthia Bailey and with Todd Bridges, and I know Teddy Mellencamp is there, maybe I should. You guys let me know. Comment below. Comment if you want me to do Celebrity Big Brother. I'll have to catch up or just start from where it is because I've never seen it, but with all of that mess, I might get into it. Hey, Miss D, I didn't watch the show, but had to show love to CW. Aw, thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate you. Hey, Foodie, speak the truth. Happy Valentine's Day. Mwah, happy Valentine's Day, beautiful. That's right, happy Valentine's Day to all my candy canes. I love you guys. Thank you for being my Valentine. Hey, Young Rich, you have a date tonight? By the way, are you going to watch Bel Air? Oh, I have so many thoughts. Okay, I have so many thoughts. First of all, do I have a date tonight? I'm actually doing my weekly coaching call tonight in the Lux VIP group. Again, check out below for all the links. I had a date on Friday night for Valentine's Day, and it went really well. It was a lot of fun. I got a bouquet of red dozen roses. So I've celebrated my Valentine's Day, and it was really nice. Am I going to watch Bel Air? No. And I'll tell you why. I don't want a Fresh Prince of Bel Air remake. I think, not against Fresh Prince of Bel Air, but I'm tired of remakes in general. Give new writers, content creators, producers, actors, all of that stuff a chance. Give new, fresh ideas a chance. Stop recycling the same rinse and repeat over and over again. And also, the new show is so far away from the actual show. Like the original, it's a comedy, it's feel good, its moral of the story is, it's that. This new Bel Air to me seems like it's an Empire spinoff. And that's no shade. I love Empire. But I think if you want to do a show like that, create a new show like that. You don't have to say it's the spinoff of the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. It just seems off to me. Like, do a show like that and then give new creativity a chance. But they just want to hold on to their IP and hold on to it. So I don't know. I don't think so. Hey, Pinky in the Brains, congratulations. Woo woo. Candy new show. Candy new show. Darren Hood says yes for Celebrity Big Brother. Okay. All right, you guys, I'm going to have to catch up on it. Is it in a place where I can just start now? Or I'll go back a couple episodes. Natalia says yes. Hey, Ursula. Hey, Black girls getting their ship together. She says, hey, beautiful. Hey, sweetheart. I just did a really great interview on Black girls getting their shift together. If you guys are not following Ursula, you should be. Check out her channel. She does amazing self-care, self-love, manifestation, all of the good stuff. So Black girls getting their shift together with Ursula. Check it out. I actually did, I believe it was last week, I did an interview with her for her channel. Hey, Pinky in the Brain. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Yes, happy Valentine's Day. Young Rich says, I agree. It was good, but I kept remembering it was a remake and I didn't like what they did with Hillary. Yes, yes, Young Rich. I agree with you 100%. It's like, if it was just a new show, I would watch. I would try and watch. I would try to get into it. But the fact that they tried to make it a remake of Bel Air, that just doesn't sit with me. I feel like if you're going to make a remake, make it in the same spirit, make it in the same genre as the remake. And all of these remakes have been flapping. Like, give new talent, give new ideas a chance. We're tired of this rinse and repeat stuff. It's crazy. I agree with you, Young Rich. Hey, Natalia. Oh, yes, Candy. Lucky, glad you had a Valentine. Thank you. Yeah, it was fun. It was really, really fun. When we got to the restaurant, not to tell too much of my business, but whatever. So when we got to the restaurant, he was there first and I came in and he had this like bouquet of red roses and I was like, aw. And he was like, every lady needs red roses on Valentine's Day. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet. So yeah, it was fun. It was fun. Hey, Young Rich, Hillary would have never said no darn, period. I can't. Young Rich, you're confirming my thoughts. You're confirming my issues. You're confirming how I felt about it. Let things be. You know what? Just like with, and just like that for Sex in the City, I'm not watching that either. We didn't need And Just Like That. First of all, you did Kim Cattrall dirty. I love Samantha. She was the star of the show. Sorry, Jessica Parker, but she was. Okay? They did Kim Cattrall dirty. And that's why she didn't come back. And that's why the show's not working. That, and also, I feel like those characters live in an era. They live in a certain period of time. And I don't mean, and I want to be clear, I don't mean that there's not a place for women of their age in TV and movies. Of course, obviously, yes. They're I don't care if you're 20, 30, 60, 70, 80, there is a place for you in entertainment, whatever. I'm not being ageist, but what I'm saying is that these particular characters, the character of Carrie and Charlotte and Miranda and Samantha, live in a particular era, a particular period in time. And I think that trying to force these characters into today's world at their particular stage in life doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Like the Golden Girls was beautiful because it was the Golden Girls, and those women lived, those characters lived in that particular period of time, that particular era. I think it's really hard to take very, very iconic characters and actually be able to have them move through different decades and times in a engaging way. I think that's very hard. And I think that those women lived for a very particular time, a very particular era. And I think that it was just a waste of time. It was a waste of money. And I feel the same way about Bel Air that I feel about And Just Like That. Give new people a chance. You know, you could do an And Just Like That type show with new characters, fresh perspectives, new scripts, new writers, new all of that, new characters. You know, there is a place for that type of show. It's just not the remake or the extension of. And I think that's where they're falling short. They're trying to force characters into periods of times that no longer fit what made those characters iconic or what made the show iconic. Like, to me, Bel Air is more like an Empire spinoff. And to me, And Just Like That literally just did not need to happen. Okay. If I missed anybody's comment, I'm sorry. Natalia says, I agree, to no remake. They should do something different. Exactly. Something that has never been done before. Exactly. You know what? You channel networks out there, your Bravos, your VH1s, your HBOs, your ABCs, your NBCs, your CWs. If you need fresh content, call your girl. I got stories for days. I got ideas for days. I got scripts for days. And I'm not the only one. There are so many emerging writers, emerging content creators, and we have so many fresh ideas. The problem is that it's so hard to, and I don't want to speak negativity. It can be hard. It can be hard because I want to be very careful about the words I use and the energy I bring to things. So I don't want to speak that it is hard. So I'll say at times it can be hard to break through those barriers when they just want to keep giving the same 10 people the same chances and remaking everything, when there are so many of us who are talented and we have ideas and we have stories to tell, but we don't have the access to tell them because they don't want to open up the playing field. So instead, they keep doing these rinse and repeats with the same 10 people over and over and over again, and everybody is tired of it. And I don't know why they do it, because it's not working. I guarantee you, if you actually gave emerging writers and producers and actors and all those people a true chance, they would make buku amounts of money because the desire is there, the demand is there, the need is there. If you really look, even with the Housewives, we were talking about that all last year, how stale it is. Even with them. When we were saying, can the Housewives even, survive? Look at what happened with RHOC. Look what happened with New York City. Look what happened with Dallas, So it's beyond time for fresh perspectives, for new stories, for new talents. And when I say new and fresh, I don't mean young. I don't mean young. I mean new and fresh. There could be a 45-year-old writer who has great stories to tell, but never had the chance. There could be a 20-year-old, producer who is amazing and has great storylines, ideas. There could be a 30-year-old. So when I say new and young, new and fresh, I don't mean young, because I think that's another big disservice, where it's like they think it has to be like the youngest thing, where no. There are people of all ages who are talented and creative and have stories to tell and who deserve a seat at the table. So when I say that, I actually just mean fresh and new at any age. And that's what the problem is. They're literally shutting out so much talent and fresh stories. It's crazy. I know, I went on a tangent, guys. Oh, Younger says Candy got a boyfriend. Look, I'm not putting a label on anything right now. Let's just have a good Valentine's Day, okay? Hey, Natalia. Oh, look how you were smiling when you telling me about your date. It was fun. Let me put it this way. I enjoyed myself. It was a fun time. Okay. So Natalia says, I love Samantha too. Yes, Samantha was the HBIC, point blank, period. And Sarah Jessica Parker got mad because she wasn't. But yes, she was. Hey, Fuji. She goes, hey, sis. Hey, everyone. Hey, sweetheart. Looking good. I love you, Fuji. Happy Valentine's Day. Hey, Pinky in the Brain. Yes, Candy. Hey, Darren Hood. I have to agree, Candy. I'm annoyed by all these new reboots to original shows. Me too. I know I was just on my soapbox about it, but I'm annoyed by it. Enough already. Give new people a chance. And the reboots aren't working. They're not working. That's why all of these studios and networks are actually really suffering. They may come out with these stuff saying this, that, and the third, but I think they're really suffering. That's why they're trying to do all the streaming content. They're trying to catch up to YouTube. They're trying to catch up to Netflix and all of that stuff. Hey, I heard Tyler Perry is accepting writers now. Yes, he is. What you think about that? Would you ever work with him? Yeah, I would 1,000% work with Tyler Perry. I think, of course, he is the exception to the rule. Where actually, no. Actually, he proves what I was saying. Because thank you for bringing that up. Tyler Perry's story proves what I was saying. He was going to, he was doing like the plays and he was doing all the stuff himself and he was like, trying to come up and everything. And then he finally got a seat at the table with the executives at the different networks and studios. And they were like, no, no one's going to want to watch, Medea, no one's going to want to watch this. No one's going to want to, blah, blah, blah. No one's going to want to do any of that. Da, 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 da. So then he had to go out and do it himself. He had to go out there and build the audience. And then he had to go do it his own way. So the truth is, them saying no to him actually probably was the catalyst for him becoming Tyler Perry, for him becoming the billionaire, for him now owning his own studios, because he had to go out there. He had to do it on his own. He had to do all this stuff. I think he created the 10-episode buy model now, where like the studios will order a full 10 episodes or something like that. But if sorry, you guys. Popping up. Cough drop. But if the studios had actually given him a chance. Woo, sorry. But if the studios had actually given him a chance at the level he wanted, they would have had such a bigger stake in his intellectual property, in the copyrights, in the remakes and the reboots and the sequels to his empire. But the fact that they didn't is why he is so powerful now. But Tyler Perry's story, unfortunately, is like the exception to that stuff. A lot of times, these writers and producers and actors, when the big executives tell them no, they stop. They quit. They feel defeated. They take a menial job. They switch careers. They give up on themselves. It was a miracle that Tyler Perry didn't. And I'm sure all of those executives who told him his ideas were crazy, who's going to want to watch, who's going to want to watch a show about a Medea, who's going to want to watch a show about Black families, who's going to want to watch a show about this, are kicking themselves because now they're trying to catch up to the billion-dollar brand that he thought. So the reason why Tyler Perry was able to become that billionaire, to retain all the rights to his stuff, was because the studios rejected him. And then he was able to build and then go back and be like, well, I have all of this. And now once he had all of that, of course they wanted a piece of the pie. But they could have had a much bigger stake in that pie if in the beginning they had taken a chance on him. But they do what they do. Who's going to want to watch that? Well, this isn't the model we did before. This isn't the model we've always had. I was even watching, I love Taraji P Henson. So Taraji has her own entertainment company now. And her business partner was doing an interview with Tribeca Film Festival. And even Taraji was saying she would find new writers, find new stories, bring them to the studios. And they would be like, well, we've never heard of them. Are you kidding me? You've heard of Taraji, but they're still not willing to take a chance on the new people, even though they're co-signed by like a Taraji P Henson. It's crazy. It's crazy. And I'm not going to say who told me this, but someone that I'm friends with in the industry, they were complaining because they were like, yeah, you know, I just used to have my friends buy my shows. Oh yeah, I would just have my friends buy my shows, but like, you know, my friends have moved on to different things now. So that right there shows you, don't you ever, and I mean this, don't you ever give up on your dream. Don't you ever give up on what you want. Don't ever think you're not smart enough or talented enough or good enough because somebody somewhere tells you that they don't see it working out for you. They don't believe in your project. They don't believe in you. They're going to pass because it's all BS. Look, they passed on Tyler Perry. Look at him. My friend was getting his stories bought just because he was friends with people, not because of what was actually in what the caliber of his projects. He's my friend, so they're great and they're amazing and all of that stuff. But it just goes to show you a lot of it is BS. So you have to really believe in yourself. You have to know who you are. And you have to know that no matter what, don't give up and keep going. Because these executives, these so-called industry experts, whatever industry you're in, doesn't have to be entertainment. It could be whatever you want to do in this world. Whatever you want to do in this world. If somebody tells you no or you're not good enough, let it go in one ear and out the other. And you keep grinding. You keep moving forward and you keep doing it. Every no is one closer to a yes. Don't stop. Because if Tyler Perry had stopped, he wouldn't be where he is now. If Oprah had stopped, she wouldn't be where she is now. Countless people, literally anyone you can think of, except for the people that it was just given to, and there's nothing wrong with that either, have been told at one point in time, you're not good enough for what you're trying to do. But thankfully, they didn't believe them. Because you are good enough. And whatever it is you want to do, you are capable of doing it. If you don't believe me, literally just look around. There are a lot of people who are not talented, who are not this and that, and they're making it happen because they believe in themselves and they don't let other people dictate their level of success. And you shouldn't either. I'm going to get off my soapbox now. Okay. Wait, let's see the comments. Okay. If I missed somebody's comment, I'm sorry. Young Rich says there's so many books that could be based movies off of. Yup. Like, why are we having another Color Purple? Why? I'll wait. Why? Yes, I'm going to watch it, but there's also books you can use that haven't ever been seen before. You know why they do that? Because they already own, again, they already own the IP. That's intellectual property. They already own the rights to it. So they can make the remake without having to buy or pay anybody else. That's why when they say, well, let's go to our library of what we have, let's just go to our catalog, because it costs them less money to remake Color Purple because they already own the rights to it than it does for them to buy the rights to somebody else's stuff. But it doesn't make any sense. If they actually would just stop being so tight with their money, buy the rights, buy the IP to new, fresh content, I guarantee that new, fresh content would make them more money and more money and more money. Because we don't need in Just Like That Color Purple Bel Air. We really don't. We really, really don't. Hey, Natalia, what do you think of model shapes in our days? Because Victoria's Secret ain't popping like it used to because I'm not accepting body shapes, but Fenty accepts all size, color, shape, skin tone. Okay, when it comes to that, a couple of things. One, I love that. I'm not really sure. I don't know if I'm using body positivity right, so I'm not going to say that, but I do love inclusivity when it comes to skin tone, hair texture, and body type. I love it. I love that we are now way more inclusive, where we are honoring different body shapes, different hair textures, different skin tones. I love it. And I love that Fenty is thriving. Victoria's Secret, I think in a moment of time was like a moment. I think it made a lot of women feel very insecure. I think it made a lot of women feel not good enough and like all of that stuff. But I think another big reason why Victoria's Secret has taken such a hit is because the behind the scenes scandals have come to light. Like Jeffrey Epstein, for one. You know, he's the guy, I'll say alleged, but it's all out there. He was doing the sex trafficking for the girls, the young girls, and he would have like the flights to Lolita Island and all that stuff. He was in cahoots with the president of Victoria's Secret. So the creator of Victoria's Secret, I forget what his name is, he was best friends with Jeffrey Epstein. And Jeffrey Epstein would recruit girls being like, oh, do you want to be a Victoria's Secret model? Come to my office, come here, come there, blah, blah, blah. And then he would recruit them and all of that stuff. All of that came out. And also other stuff that was going on, just shady stuff. And then there's a whole podcast and a whole documentary about Victoria's Secret and their angels. And behind the scenes, there was a lot of salacious stuff going on. There was a lot of eating disorders. There was a lot of abuse. You know what I'm saying? So I think the veil was kind of pulled off on Victoria's Secret and just how toxic it was, how destructive it was, and all of that stuff. So I think the brand itself is really, really tarnished. When it comes to Fenty, love Rihanna. I love inclusivity wherever you can get it. I'm here for different shapes, sizes, colors, textures. I'm here for all of it because I think that we're all beautiful. We're all beautiful. I don't care what anybody says. We are all beautiful. And I think it matters to see yourself reflected in things. I think it matters to see yourself reflected on TV. I think it matters to see yourself reflected on Instagram. I think it matters to see yourself reflected in magazines. I think it matters to see yourself reflected in actors, athletes, whatever you want to call it. I think it matters to see someone who looks like you. And I think that's really important. So I'm here for it. But Victoria's Secret, that's a lot of scandals, a lot of abuse, a lot of disorders, a lot of dysfunction. Okay. Hey, Foodie. Mwah. Hey, Young Rich, I didn't know Taraji had her own entertainment company. Yes, she does. She has her own entertainment company. Yep. Okay, sis. Yeah, she does. And that's another thing, because I think that her entertainment company was supposed to produce the Empire spinoff at Fox. But then, for whatever reason, I don't think it went through. But yeah, she has her own entertainment company, because that's how you have to do it. And that's the thing they all do. Kerry Washington has her own production company. Reese Witherspoon has her own production company. Octavia Spencer, her own production company. Viola Davis, her own production company. That's how you really have to do it. It's one thing to be the actor and the talent. It's another thing to be the producer. It's another one to be the one creating the jobs, deciding the projects, doing the casting. Because if you're producing it, guess who you can put into it? Yourself. That's why a lot of these TV shows and movies, if you look at the credits, and it's like in association with this production company and blah, 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 blah with this production company. One of those production companies usually is the production company of one of the stars or more than one of the stars. Owen Wilson, Will Smith, Will Smith's production company, Westbrook, is producing the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air remake. His production company is producing that. He has his own production company. You think of it, Denzel Washington has his own production company. Tyler Perry, that we talked about, obviously has his own production company. But that's how you really do it. When you are in the position to hire and fire, that's when you are really up there. And that's when you make multiple checks. That's why Alec Baldwin might be in more trouble with the whole Russ thing. Remember the person who unfortunately got shot? He was also a producer. He was starring in it and a producer. Because when you do that, you get a check for acting and you also get a check for producing. And when you are producing, depending the level of producer that you on, you have think about like a Carlos King or an Andy Cohen when he used to have power, right? They have the power behind the scenes to hire and fire and all of that stuff. And that comes with influence. Pink Dynamite. Mary J was popping at halftime. Yes, she was. Mary J was giving me life. She was giving me everything. Yes, Mary J was popping at halftime. She did the damn thing. Bow down. Yes, queen. And I love Snoop Dogg. Is it just me, or was Snoop Dogg kind of sexy at halftime? Like, he's always been like Unc Snoop, you know, like Uncle Snoop. But I was just like, Snoop Dogg might get it. Like, he was hot at halftime. I don't know what it was. He was hot. Young Rich, yes, right. It was very toxic and demonic. Yes. Victoria's Secret, yes, it was. Extremely toxic. So much abuse, so much disorder, so much it was just a mess, Wexner, yes, Wexner for Victoria's Secret, exactly. Hey Natalia, should Bravo be a streaming service? No, you know what? It's not. Bravo doesn't need to be a streaming service because there's the Bravo app, and you can stream Bravo on the app, but also Peacock. Because remember, right? NBC Universal is the parent company. NBC owns Bravo. NBC also owns Peacock. Peacock is the streaming channel for NBC Universal. That's why you can watch all of the Housewives on Peacock. You can watch all of the like Law and Orders on Peacock. All of the NBC shows you can watch on Peacock. That is essentially the streaming service. That is also why, did you notice that the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip was where? Streaming on Peacock. When it did well on Peacock, that's when it brought it over to Bravo, because I think soon they're going to be showing the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip on Bravo, but they tested it out on the streaming app first on Peacock. That's also where you can watch the Real Housewives of Miami. Where is it streaming? On Peacock. And I bet you if it continues to do well, then they'll bring it over to Bravo. So Peacock pretty much is the streaming service for like NBC. And with the Bravo app, you can stream all of the stuff, if that makes sense. Okay. Hey, Sharon. Just hello, Candy, my love. Hey, sweetheart. How are you? Okay, you guys, we have been on here for over an hour. I have to go because I have to prep tonight. Again, I'm going to do another plug just in case you guys are into it. If you're into self-love, if you're into self-care, if you're into manifestation, tonight we're kicking off our weekly coaching call with the Lux Life VIP group. If you grab a ticket to our 7-day Level Up Your Life Challenge, you will get immediate access and lifetime access to our Lux Life VIP group. We're doing challenges. We're doing monthly challenges. We're doing weekly coaching calls. We have a library full of self-care, self-love, and manifestation resources. And you also get a supportive group. The basic essence of the group is to get you in the right mind space and the right mindset to start attracting joy, love, wealth, happiness, just doing it. You know, it's like what we talked earlier when I said, don't let anybody ever tell you you're not good enough. Don't let anybody ever tell you that what you want to do, you can't do or you can't have, because that's not true. But the way you get to that place is working on your self-concept, working on your self-esteem, working on your self-love, learning manifestation tricks and all of that stuff. Jim Carrey talks about manifestation all the time. A lot of these people do. Oprah talks about it all of the time. If you listen to any Oprah talk, she slips in all of the different manifestation tools that she uses. So that's what the group is about. It's really about just having a supportive group of people, getting some resources, coming together and building each other up so that we can go out here and get anything we want because we deserve it. So if you're interested in that, check out the description box. If you're watching this on the replay, also check it out on the subscription box. And no matter what, if you want to support this channel, you can just subscribe. That would be amazing. You could also like this video. And you can share this with a couple of your friends. We talk about reality TV. We talk about the Housewives. We talk about manifestation, self-care, self-love. We are just high vibe. My channel is just high vibe. It's a key. It's positivity. It's happiness. It's coming together. It's community. It's just high vibe all around. I appreciate all of you. Happy Valentine's Day. Mwah, and I love you. Oh, let's see what you guys were saying. Hey, Darren. Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip started airing last week on Bravo. Exactly. Because they tested it on Peacock first, because Peacock, again, is owned by NBC. NBC owns Bravo. So they tested it on Peacock, which is their streaming service. It got great reviews. People were doing all that stuff. So then they brought it over to Bravo. Yep. Hey, Young Rich, you should do a deep dive with the entertainment industry and Victoria's Secret. Might be cool. Might be cool, but like, I don't want any ops over here. Like, this is the thing. Victoria's Secret, all of the stuff going on is very, very, very dark. I mean, very dark. I don't know if I want that over here. We are love and light on the candy shop. We are glowing up with sugar pills in the Luxite group. So I don't know, but like, you guys can do a deep dive on the Victoria's Secret stuff, but it is very, very dark. And I don't know if I want that over here, but I will just say this. If you are going to buy lingerie or some sweatpants, there are so many other brands that you can check out. I would be careful with Victoria's Secret. It's problematic at the least. Yes. Hey, Pink Dynamite, sowing some love. Hey, Sharon, I have to rewind. Did you talk about Marceau? Oh, Sharon, we talked about Marceau yesterday. Go to my live from yesterday. So yesterday we did hot topics. Yesterday we talked about Marceau and his cheating allegations. We talked about Kanye, Jim Jones, Cynthia Bailey, Tristan Thomas. Who else did we talk about yesterday? We got into it yesterday. So Sharon, if you want to see my commentary on Marceau, go to yesterday's live. That's when we did the hot topics. Today we talked about the Real Housewives of OC, and then we got into other stuff, which was really fun. So if you want Marceau, go to yesterday's live. Yep. Young Rich, I'll protect you, girl. You better. Young Rich, I love you. You be holding me down. You'll be holding me down. All right, you guys, I got to go prep for tonight's weekly call. I'm super excited. But again, if you're into self-love and self-care and manifestation, check out the links below and join us. We are glowing up this year. We are attracting that joy. We're attracting that love. We're attracting that wealth because we all deserve it. And we're high vibe over here. We are high vibe. But no matter what, just subscribe. That would be enough. I love you guys. Happy Valentine's Day. I will see you guys tomorrow. I think tomorrow we're doing Jersey. I'm going to have to see about Celebrity Big Brother, see if I have time to do that. But you guys seem to want that, so I'll try and catch up. And I love you guys. Be safe out there. Take care of yourself and each other. Be well. I love you, my candy canes, and I will see you guys tomorrow. And share this video. Bye.